What's good, all my stock market investor and trader homies? Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia just said something when he was being interviewed by one of Joe Biden's girlfriends. One of his mistresses over at CNN was interviewing the senator from the great state of West Virginia, and he said something that could mean the end of the multi-year, decade-plus bull run that we've been seeing in the stock market. 2009, we hit lows, the big recession, the stock market crashed, gave back more than 50% off of the all-time highs. We bottomed in 2009, and since then, it's just been a steady grind higher. And if we look at the chart on the screen, I have a monthly chart of the S&P 500. This is the Rona crash. This is the 2009 crash, and since that 2009 low, it's just been a grind higher to the 445 that we're trading on the SPY right now. We've been hitting this parabolic move right here, which is steeper in price action than any other area of this bull run. From 2009 all the way to 2020, really, we were just grinding higher. What happened? What was different that changed the price action? Instead of that grind higher, we are now seeing that straight to the moon price action. Just a rocket launch, SpaceX, Elon Musk style. When the Rhinoceros Rex was in full effect, the government came to a decision that they're just going to start printing money left and right. They were going to flood the economy with money, and that was going to stabilize things and get the economy through the tough time of the lockdown and the quarantine. Whether you believe that's the right decision or not, that's what happened. Well, Senator Joe Manchin, he is a more moderate Democrat, and the Democrats' infrastructure bill, with the $1.5 trillion infrastructure bill, which has good money going to good things, right? To build bridges, to do exactly what the bill says, re-up the infrastructure in the United States. That's what the bill's for, and that's what the money would go to. However, there's the $3.5 trillion BS budget bill that is being debated in Congress right now. Senator Joe Manchin was just interviewed on CNN. Let's see what he had to say about the big $3.5 trillion BS budget bill.
Will he have your vote?
And that's fine. He can. He will not have my vote on 3.5, and Chuck knows that. And we've talked about this. We've already put out 5.4 trillion, and we've tried to help Americans in every way we possibly can. And a lot of the help that we put out there is still there, and it's going to run clear until next year, 2022. What's the urgency? What's the urgency that we have? It's not the same urgency that we have with the American Rescue Plan. We got that out the door quickly. That was about $2 billion, $2 trillion. And on top of that, you know, all the things we've had with the CARES package, everything leading up to that. So we have done an awful lot, and there's still an awful lot of people that need help. But you have 11 million jobs that aren't filled right now. 8 million people are still unemployed. Something's not matching up. Don't you think we ought to hit the pause and find out the vulnerability that we have, Dana, right now? We don't know what happened with this COVID. It's awful coming back the way it is with a vengeance. We don't know about inflation. We know it's running rampant right now. I can tell you in West Virginia, inflation's running rampant.
Joe Manchin basically said he cannot vote for the bill because if he was to go back home having voted for the bill, his constituents in West Virginia would be really, really pissed off at him. Why is this so important? He is a swing vote in the Senate. If he votes no to this bill, it's probably not getting passed. If this bill doesn't get passed, Joe Biden has said that the other bill, the infrastructure bill, will just vanish. It won't be around anymore, and it won't pass. This is huge. This move, remember, this move in the market was caused by the government spending money. If the government slows down spending money, there's no more money flowing into the stock market. What happens? It dries up. This is not natural price action, and eventually the money will dry up. And investors got scared on Friday, and it started to sell off. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I'll offer my opinion on what I think is going to happen in just a sec, but it's going to be volatile. We are going to see volatile price action over the next few weeks and months. All right, guys, to explain this a little bit simpler, over here we have the $1.5 trillion infrastructure bill that goes to bridges, roads, highways, airports, whatever, real infrastructure. Joe Biden and other Democrats have said that if this bill wants to get passed, then this $3.5 trillion bill also has to get passed. This $3.5 trillion bill is filled with a bunch of bullshit. I'll let you guys look it up, what's inside the bill, but it's a bunch of bullshit. Joe Manchin says, I like this bill over here. The $1.5 trillion to go to the roads, the bridges, the highways. Sure, I'll vote yes on this. But I don't want to vote yes on the $3.5 trillion bullshit budget bill. That's what's happening. So if he doesn't vote yes on both bills, we got a problem. The $1.5 trillion bill fails, and does the $3.5 trillion BS budget bill. That's why I think the stock market has possibly seen the top. I do think the market's overpriced. I do think we need a correction and just kind of chill out, breathe a little bit, and then make that next leg higher. But just because I think that doesn't mean that this run is necessarily over. We haven't seen that massive amount of volume come in that you typically see when the market tops out. It's called a volume top. Also, there is a lot of short sellers getting involved right now, and they may be a little bit too early. What happens when short sellers are too early? Well, there is a short squeeze, and the market keeps going higher until those early shorts are squeezed out of their positions, and then you get that correction, that rollover. Let's talk about a stock that I do like, a stock that I do think is going to perform well over the next 12, 15 months or so, and that's Airbnb. Even though I think the stock market has peaked, I do not think the housing market has peaked. I think this administration, this Democrat-controlled Congress is going to focus on providing housing, making housing a human right. Now, I don't think that's politically accurate. I don't agree with it, but I think they're going to start funneling money into the housing market and providing rent assistance. And that money is going to drive up the housing prices and make an affordability crisis a reality. People are not going to be able to afford to buy houses anymore. It's going to be hard to pay for rent because everything's going to be so expensive. So what are they going to be doing? They're going to be looking to short-term rentals. Short-term rentals, they're going to sell their properties. Everybody's going to be selling their property because they're going to have so much damn equity because the housing market's gone to the moon. They're going to be selling their property, moving out, and looking for short-term rentals, Airbnbs, stay there a few months, and then you can hop around. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that. Also, travel. I'm very optimistic that the travel numbers are going to continue to tick up. We saw them drop off. All the jobs report show that travel is not looking good right now, but I do think it picks back up. All right, so Airbnb stock right now trading in the 165 range. Well off the highs. This thing has a lot of upside back up towards the highs near 225 or so. That is a big move. 165 all the way back up to 225. We got the double bottom pattern showing here. Double bottom, came down, boom, tested it. Came down, tested it, or higher low, and then we make that breakout over that pivot. Airbnb stock is a good deal at these prices, in my opinion. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope everybody has a green week trading. It's going to be crazy out there this week, so be careful. I love every single one of you guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until next time, peace.